Hey there, Bills Mafia. Before we dive in, you already know the mission. The Buffalo Bills are working harder than ever this offseason to refine every detail of their game. The goal, deliver results that'll bring us all a little closer to that elusive Super Bowl title. If you're as excited about the 2025 season as we are, smash that like button, subscribe to Buffalo Beat News, and make sure to turn on those post notifications so you never miss an exclusive update. Let's get into the latest buzz from One Bills Drive, and trust me, this one's got it all. Big names, big numbers, and some bold predictions. Now, let's start with the headline that's got the NFL world talking. James Cook is projected to regress in 2025. Yeah, you heard that right. After tying for the AFC lead in touchdowns last season alongside none other than Derrick Henry, Sports Illustrated's Michael Fabiano just listed Cook as one of 20 fantasy football stars destined for stat regression. Now before you panic, let's break this down. James Cook was electric in 2024 to 18 total touchdowns, 16 of those on the ground. That tied O.J. Simpson's franchise record for rushing TDs in a season. And yet, Fabiano's calling for a step back. Why? Let's talk context. Cook had just 9 touchdowns across his first 2 years in the league. So 18? Yeah, that's a massive jump. And here's where things get even trickier. Of those 16 rushing TDs, 6 came from inside the 3-yard line. That's prime territory for Josh Allen to call his own number. And if you've been watching Allen since day one, you know he's a red zone machine. Even more concerning, Cook's total yardage and touches actually declined from 2023 to 2024 to 300 fewer yards and 40 to fewer touches. That's not usually a trend that leads to another record-setting season. Plus, let's not forget the elephant in the room, Cook's contract situation. Rumors of a potential holdout are floating around. And as we've seen in the past with players like Le'Veon Bell or Melvin Gordon, that kind of dispute can derail momentum. Add in the fact that Cook only plays about 50% of the offensive snaps, with guys like Ray Davis and Ty Johnson still in the mix, and yeah, you start to understand why regression might be on the table. The upside, another 1,000-yard rushing season is still very much in play. But matching that record-tying 16 TDs on the ground, that might be a reach. All right, let's shift gears to something a little more uplifting. Josh Allen's thoughts on the wide receiver room, and more specifically, second-year man Keon Coleman. In an exclusive interview with Bleacher Report's Mike Chiari, the MVP quarterback couldn't stop praising Coleman's development this offseason. Here's what Allen had to say. He looks very smooth right now. I feel like he's put on some muscle. He's moving quicker, not just physically, but mentally with our offensive system. But it wasn't just about route running or speed. Allen emphasized their off-field bond too. I love the kid. He's got such a good head on his shoulders. He loves the game of football, and he wants to be the best he can be. That's what you want from a young wideout, and with no true WR1 in the everybody-eats offense, Keon Coleman is putting himself in the perfect position to emerge as that guy, if not statistically, then definitely spiritually. The wide receiver room, by the way, is looking deeper than ever. Let's break it down. Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman return as familiar faces. Free agent signings like Josh Palmer, Curtis Samuel, and Elijah Moore bring serious NFL experience and versatility. Draft pick Caden Prather 7th round and undrafted rookies Kelly Akerai and Stephen Gosnell round out the group. Plus, you've got practice squad holdovers like Tyrell Shavers, KJ Hamler, and Yalen Virgil. Josh Allen made it clear he loves this group. In his own words, there's a lot of variability with our group. I feel like we've got football players in that room, not just wide receivers. Guys who are constantly doing the right things, and that mindset, that everybody eats mentality, it's what makes this WR room dangerous. No egos, just production. And Allen even responded to GM Brandon Beane's fiery comments from WGR 550's Jeremy and Joe Show. We're being passionately defended the team's receiver decisions. I thought the reaction was awesome. Just to hear him get so fired up about it is freaking awesome. Clearly, QB1 and GM1 are in sync, and that's exactly what you want heading into a crucial season. Let's start with what had everyone in Buffalo holding their breath last week: rookie cornerback Maxwell Hairston's injury scare during minicamp. So here's the scoop. The Bills wrapped up their 3-day minicamp, and while spirits were high overall, there was a moment of concern when Hairston, our first-round draft pick, came up gimpy with what appeared to be a lower body issue. Fast forward to the latest update, and thankfully, it's not as bad as feared. GM Brandon Beane confirmed it's a hamstring injury, suffered during the third and final day of minicamp. But here's the key: Hairston is expected to be ready for training camp in July. That gives him over a month to heal up. And Beane's tone suggests this is more precaution than panic. Still, you never want to hear hamstring when talking about a rookie corner who's expected to contribute right away. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. Buffalo finished 2024 with the 9th most passing yards allowed per game. That's not exactly elite. So what did Beane do? He used the 30th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to bring in Hairston out of Kentucky, a ballhawk with serious upside. In just 3 years with the Wildcats, Hairston put together 6 interceptions, 5 of them in 2023, 10 passes defended, and 89 total tackles. This kid is aggressive, instinctual, and exactly the kind of corner who can step into a struggling secondary and make an impact from day one. So, yeah, it's not great to hear the word injury, but knowing it's just a hamstring and that he's expected back by training camp, that's about the best case scenario we could hope for. All right. Now let's talk about a name that could be on every Bills fan's radar by week 1, Javon Solomon. Look, Buffalo's defensive line got a major facelift this offseason. You've got Joey Bosa coming in, a 5-time Pro Bowler. You've got Landon Jackson, a rookie with SEC pedigree, but you know who's quietly been making waves behind the scenes? Second-year pass rusher Javon Solomon. He might have been a 5th-round pick last year, but don't let that fool you. Solomon has pedigree at Troy. He set the school's FBS-era sack record. In 2023, he led the entire NCAA FBS with 16 sacks. Last year as a rookie in Buffalo, he barely got on the field, just 130 for defensive snaps, but he still recorded 2.0 sacks. 6 QB hits. That's legit production in limited action. And this year, he's coming back with a different mindset. Back then, I was just out there hoping I was doing my job every play. But now I actually know what I'm doing, and I know what the whole line is doing. Solomon said during an interview on One Bills Live. That quote tells you everything you need to know. This isn't a kid just happy to be here. This is a guy who's learning the system, seeing the game slow down, and now has the confidence to attack at full speed. And here's what CBS Sports' Pete Prisco had to say. I thought Solomon had it. When he came out, I thought he could be a decent pass rusher in certain situations, and I like what the Bills have. I think they're a better defense now than they were a year ago. That's high praise, especially considering Solomon is in a rotation with guys like Greg Rousseau and AJ Epinesa, players who were drafted high and have big expectations. So now you've got Bosa, Rousseau, Epinesa, Jackson, and Solomon all in the mix. That's serious depth and, more importantly, serious pass rush potential. Let's not forget, the Bills finished 23rd in sack percentage last year. That's just not good enough for a team trying to make a deep playoff run. But this new-look D-line, it has the tools to change the game. On one hand, we've got our top draft pick Maxwell Hairston nursing a minor injury, but the team's not concerned. They're expecting him back and ready to contribute. On the other, we've got Javon Solomon, a guy who many didn't see coming, now positioning himself as a key rotational piece with legit breakout potential. Both stories matter because they point to the same thing: depth and development. Brandon Beane's not just filling spots, he's building a roster that can adapt, plug holes, and thrive when things get tough. This is how championship teams are built. You don't just rely on stars, you develop your day 3 picks, you find gems in the draft, and you coach guys into being difference makers. So, Bills fans, what do we make of all this? We've got a potential James Cook regression tied to red zone usage and contract drama, a room full of promise, led by a maturing Keon Coleman, and a quarterback who sounds completely bought in on the guys around him. While it's fair to expect some stat corrections, don't get it twisted. This Buffalo offense is still explosive, still versatile, and still led by one of the best in the league in Josh Allen. But now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with Michael Fabiano's prediction that James Cook will take a step back in 2025? Can Keon Coleman become the breakout WR in a system where everybody eats? And how do you feel about this revamped receiver room heading into training camp? Let me know in the comments down below. I read every single one of them, and I'll be jumping in to talk with you all. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, entertaining, or just plain Bills Mafia worthy, do us a solid. Like this video, subscribe to Buffalo Beat News, and share it with a fellow Bills fan who needs to be in the know. We're just getting started this season, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay strong, stay loud, and as always, go Bills!